Hey there, everyone. My name is Eric Richards, and I run Springs Houses Online Realty, along with a website called springshousesonline.com. Let's go through what happened in July of 2025. So, housing statistics, homes for sale. We saw a little bit of a rise. Follow me here with the mouse pointer. And we saw a total number of inventory climb to 4,226. These are single family and patio homes. So we're excluding condos and townhomes in this number. Not concerning because it's the summer. And this is when people are most likely to buy, sell, move because kids are out of school. The weather is nicer. Rarely any sort of like road weather related issues to kind of hold up your move. Also, the military is in full swing with PCS season. So that's okay. New listings. Not a huge statistical change here between 2024 and 2025. Given that we have a rise in available inventory going on over there and single family, you might be thinking, well, if it's flat here and it's going up over there, where's the inventory gain? Could be condos, could be townhomes. And remember, anything that didn't sell adds to the available inventory, but new listings may not have come on as much. So days on market might be growing. We'll know in a moment. Total homes under contract, a good increase over last year. We tend to recognize that this was kind of the low point, especially back in the earlier months of 2024. That was when we thought it was kind of the low point of the market. Seeing just about 1,600 homes go under contract. As I've said before, this is the canary in the coal mines for real estate activity. A buyer's willingness to put a home under contract and a seller's willingness to take an offer means that the market is working. Average days on market. So a little bit of a decrease here. When I mentioned a moment ago, we might be seeing a rise in that. So what we have going on here is that likely the homes that are getting listed newest are getting snapped up, and that keeps the average lower, as opposed to the languishing inventory that continues to hang out on the market. So you put a bunch of homes on the market that sell within 1, 2, 3, 4 days, that'll drop that average. I wouldn't read a whole lot into this flat number here. I'm looking more at metrics like this where it's 60, meaning that there's almost an even replacement for one in, one out. Total sales year to date. I love this number. I love it because it's healthy and interest rates suck right now. There's no other way to describe them. So having this nice increase right here tells me that people are getting back into the market to buy. Average and median sales prices. This is always the second to last slide in this statistical charts PDF that they put together, and it's always the most depressing. Yet again, average sales price rises. Median sales price went down a little bit, broke below 500,000, which means that a lot of those inexpensive homes priced 350 to 425 sold, and they probably sold quickly, which is what dropped that days on market. So I know this is unfortunate, especially with 6-7% interest rates, but it is what it is. I wish I had a magic wand and I could change it, but I can't. Total number of housing sales actually dropped a little bit from previous month. Still pretty good for this little collection of months right here, March through July. Those are good numbers. And then condo sales fell a little bit, 4 less than the month before. I'm not going to put any weight into that. Let's jump on over to our what we read into when we talk about price reductions with potential sellers. And I'm speaking collectively as realtors when we speak to our clients. Almost across the board, up until about $1 million, 40% of listings had to take a price reduction in order to sell their home. Anywhere between 4 and on the low end here looks like 2% at the $500,000 to $600,000 price point. So price reductions are the norm. It is a strategy. It is a way that sellers are getting homes sold. Now, this does not mean that sellers should say, well, if my home is worth $550,000 and the realtor on the YouTube is telling me a 40% chance of having to take a price reduction of 2.5%, well, I'll just price my home 2.5% above that so that when I do take a price reduction, I'm netting what I originally wanted. Doesn't work that way. Fair market value. That is what the majority of these people priced their homes at, and they had to take this price reduction. So what we expect to see when you run a list of comparables is that most homes are selling for somewhere around 98% of their original list price to sold price. 98%. So if the home was $100,000, the home sold for $98,000. That's the round numbers. But just keep that in mind as you're thinking about selling. About 40% of you will have to take a price reduction around 2 to 2.5% in order to get your home sold. That might be through concessions. It might be through interest rate buy down. It might just be a straight up price reduction. Keep that in mind. Lastly, this chart is, or this bit of data is always like, there's a lot of numbers. What do we do? Well, I want to point out a few key things here. So new listings in July of 2024 and July of 2025, when you compare these two here, we're only looking at a statistical difference of less than 1%. So not a huge change. The other thing I want to point out here is always the volume. 8.4% increase compared to the same amount of time from the beginning of January to July and then January to July in 2025. So that's a pretty good increase right there. I also want to point out too that new listings are up 12.8% and our days on market are falling. So everyone looks to the guy who's spouting all this data to offer up an opinion or some sort of, look at my crystal ball. I'm not a world famous economist, but what I can tell you locally in my market is things are selling. The high interest rate environment, it sucks, but there are ways around it. And things seem to be working. It's a slow, struggling, out of tune 30-year-old car that's making it up the hill. It will get over the hill and things will be better. But right now, it's just not that much fun to be a buyer. And if you're a seller, think about price reductions. Think about helping out the person who's trying to buy your home, and you will get your home sold. Hope that helps. Talk to you guys soon on the next video.